Hi, everybody. Welcome to the 7th Annual Green Summit. This webinar will be an overview of the Prince George's County Stormwater Stewardship Grant Program and Rain Check Rebate Program. I'm Sadie Drescher. I work at the Chesapeake Bay Trust, where I'm the Director of Restoration Programs, and the Chesapeake Bay Trust is proud to be a partner with Prince George's County on both of these programs. Okay, with that, let's get started. The agenda is really simple: an overview of the Stormwater Stewardship Grant Program, which is open now, and the Rain Check Rebate Program, which is open all year, a rolling program. So question for you attending this: what will I get out of this session? I really want this to be a thoughtful discussion, even though it's a recording, where you're thinking about some ideas for projects and really building on them to know what resources are available for you. So let's start with the Prince George's County Stormwater Stewardship Grant Program. This is a partnership with Prince George's County Department of the Environment. All funds are from the county, and we've been really proud to partner with Prince George's County to provide our grant-making services to the county to provide these projects that are really cool and innovative, coming from the communities and municipalities within Prince George's County. That's my contact. I've been managing this program since its inception over the past couple of years, and I'm happy to talk to you about any project ideas, what's been done in the past, and how you might really accomplish your goals. So let's jump right in. The Prince George's County Stormwater Stewardship Grant Program, everything you need to know about the program is available on our website, which is listed here. So you can go to cbtrust.org and then go to grants, and then go to Prince George's County and the Stormwater Stewardship Grant Program tab. Right here is where you will find everything you need to know about what kind of projects that we're looking for if the grant program is open, which it is open now with a deadline of November 18th. So it's not too late to get your project ideas together. And then there's great videos about some of the past awardees and what projects they've done, what obstacles they ran into, and how you might find some good advice for you as you're thinking about your project idea. There's also a tab for all past projects, who was awarded, what year, what the project title was, how much was the project, and then short videos and fact sheets to really give you an idea of what's been accomplished in the past, which might help you think about reaching out to maybe get ideas or form partnerships or form your own project ideas. This is also where you will go to start a new application and manage your grant if awarded. So again, thinking through you as you're listening to this, what do you want to do in your neighborhood? What water issues have you seen? What project ideas do you have? What have others done that might be easy for you to do? And then go to the request for proposal, which is really a document or a roadmap outlining what the program's all about, what projects Prince George's County is looking for, little ideas, and then exactly what questions you will address in your application, where to go for resources, and how to submit your application. So let's jump right in with the 3 project types that we're looking for this year. We're looking for water quality projects. So those are stormwater retrofits, also known as low impact development or environmental site design practices. And these are things that you might do on your property to slow down the water coming off of the rooftops, the parking lots, the driveways, the walkways that are really untreated. So when it rains, the stormwater runoff is hot and fast and bringing along some of the pollutants that go straight into our streams and receiving waters. So these practices will really slow down the water, clean it up, and also beautify the property with the long-term maintenance thinking in mind. And so those are largely projects that you want to involve some landscape designers and engineers to make sure you do them really well. And they're larger projects, so the requests are usually between $50,000 and $150,000 each. The second type of project this request for proposal is looking for is really ramping up the tree canopy in Prince George's County. So how can we do that? With connecting the tree planting projects with nonprofits and municipalities that have the connections with private property owners who would want to plant native trees on their property. So really looking for these applicants who can plant trees that will be successful for the long term, be maintained, look beautiful, and integrate with some of the existing county programs like Tree Relief, Arbor Day Every Day, the Rain Check Rebate Program, and have this track or awardee will have a lot of interaction with the Chesapeake Bay Trust and the county, just making sure that these programs are integrated and the projects are really successful throughout the way. So really large scale tree planting projects on private property. Okay, the last track is citizen awareness and engagement projects. So these are community engagement, watershed planning. What would your neighborhood group want to do? What might you want to see happen? What could really move people toward these environmental goals that we're looking for that would mesh well with what's going on in your community and in your neighborhood. So citizen awareness projects are that track 3, and their requests are usually between $5,000 and $30,000. So we'll provide some examples of some of these projects. The first is a project idea. So on the left, this might be a typical home or business or faith-based organization where you have a rooftop, pavements, sidewalks, again, those impervious surfaces that are untreated, and the water's running into the, usually in this system, a curb and gutter system going straight into our receiving waters or streams untreated. So what might you do? You might install a bioretention or a rain garden, so a depression in the ground where you have those engineered soils, and you're directing all of that stormwater runoff from those impervious surfaces to that bioretention or rain garden or other stormwater practice. And it's really slowing the water down, cleaning it up, using native plants to beautify the property while improving water quality. So just an idea of what we're talking about here if you're not familiar with stormwater practices. Another project example from past projects that were awarded in this grant program, a nonprofit, the Friends of Lower Beaver Dam Creek, received a grant to install 5 different stormwater practices. So they really worked with some landscape designers and some engineers to solve some water issues or problems that were happening at an apartment complex and a couple of residential properties, really tailoring that solution or stormwater retrofit for the property and developing some practices that look really beautiful and that the homeowners and the residents are enjoying the spaces, maintaining them, and they're solving a water issue. So that's an example of a larger scale track 1 stormwater retrofit project. Other project ideas on the far left, Suitland Civic Association worked with a watershed group to train 3 of their residents to install rain barrels. And then once they learned how to do that, they installed a couple of rain barrels in their civic association, I think 35 rain barrels. So also connecting them with kind of the know-how and the tools to install these rain barrels, which is one of the stormwater practices in the rain check rebate program that we'll talk about next. The middle picture here is ICPRB's Score 4 Student School Streams in the Bay program. So this was a program where the nonprofit or the awardee was working right within 4 high schools with the students and the teachers to learn about what practices they might install on their property. So here's an example of one of those practices and some signage of some of the folks that were involved, really involving the students and teachers in that visioning process and beautifying their school grounds while improving water quality, and then learning about plants and the environment and biology and other subjects along the way. On the far right is Scoop That Poop. This is a project that was supported by, the awardee was the University of Maryland. There is a pet waste educational video that was a product of the project, and then also building that, why it's important to pick up after your pet and how you might do that, really holding a summit to engage everyone in the county that was interested in this topic, and then working within the cities and towns to install pet waste stations and develop their own pet waste reduction program that fit within the county's goals. So again, past awards are here at this website, and just wanted to highlight a couple of projects for you to kind of get your thoughts around what project idea you might be interested in. A few more project examples. Top left, Eco Latinos was working to hold some workshops in Spanish to really link up the existing resources like the Rain Check Rebate program to those that might speak Spanish. And that was really successful and just wrapped up. So just making sure that all residents within the county know about these county programs. Parkdale High School, top right, is was an award straight to the high school where the landscape designers and the watershed groups and the engineers that were hired under this grant really worked with the students and teachers to vision out what stormwater practice would work well on their property, and then implement the practices also with the maintenance staff who will be maintaining these installed practices long-term, but implement these practices into the curriculum and where the students could engage and learn about the practices while they also, when implemented, cleaned up the stormwater off the parking lot and other impervious surfaces. Bottom left, Interfaith Partners for the Chesapeake worked with faith-based organizations to let them know about some of the water quality improvements and educational programs that were available and link them up with the Alternative Compliance Program, again, another county program. Bottom right, the Neighborhood Design Center worked with some civic associations and community associations who wanted to do something but weren't quite sure what. And so the Neighborhood Design Center really helped them vision that out and plan it so that they had a roadmap that worked for them, was tailored to their community needs, and they could take that on to implement some of the practices and maybe go after grant funds themselves. So again, just a couple of ideas to get you thinking about what projects are possible. And all of the past awards are at that link and might give you some good ideas for your project. Who can apply to this grant program? It's open to municipalities, any of the cities and towns in Prince George's County, excluding City of Bowie, who manages their own stormwater. Nonprofit organizations, watershed groups, as you saw, some of the educational institutions, community associations, faith-based organizations, and more. So a couple of examples here in the pictures. The top left is End Time Harvest Ministries. That's Reverend Addison implementing her project. Top right, University of Maryland golf course installed some stormwater retrofits and kind of trained up their staff along the way. Bottom left, Duval High School, Miss Marilyn White installing rain gardens and working with the students on that restoration and education project. Bottom right, Centro de Apoyo Familiar, working in the faith-based organizations to train the trainer and let the leaders within those organizations know about some of the programs that are available in Prince George's County, as well as some of the things that you can do at your own home or business to improve water quality and kind of get that message out. So just a couple of other examples for these projects. So as a summary, review the request for proposals. So again, what we're looking for these project types and all the details about how to prepare an application. Then you prepare your application. I'm available to help anytime by phone or email with your ideas. Complete the online application, and then that's the submission process there. So just a quick overview of the Rain Check Rebate Program, much like we had with the grant program. So you're a little bit more familiar with it and maybe have some ideas of what you might want to do on your own property. What is the Rain Check Rebate Program? So a rebate provides a refund after purchase, the installation and approval for installing stormwater practices, much like we talked about before. And all the information about this program is available on the Rain Check Rebate website, and there'll be links further in this presentation. Who's eligible? The property owners are eligible, and these are residential properties as well as businesses. So those commercial, industrial, institutional properties, a couple of examples here, like the multifamily dwellings, homeowners associations, and like I said, businesses. And then we also have a track for nonprofit organizations to install a project on public property as well. Eligible projects in Prince George's County, excluding the City of Bowie, as we mentioned, who manages their own stormwater, and then excluding Town of Cheverly, Town of University Park, and the City of College Park, just for the tree planting component of this Rain Check Rebate Program. A Rain Check Rebate practice must follow all the program guidelines and criteria, and everything is laid out really clearly, and our staff are here to help you every step of the way. Completed within the 12 months of application submission, and then can't be required under any existing previous requirement. Maximum rebate amounts up to $4,000 for residential properties, up to $20,000 for commercial, industrial, and institutional properties, and up to $20,000 for those nonprofit organizations installing a project on public property. So the applicant can complete many projects up to the total ceilings that we mentioned above, and the final rebate amount is dependent upon the final project size, and the cost must be supported by receipts and invoices. But again, those are the details, super important, and we're here to help you every step of the way, as well as there's lots of guidance on our website about these rebates and the rebate program. That's a really cool program. Different eligible Rain Check Rebate practices. So just thinking about your own property, at your home or at your business, what might you want to install using this rebate program? Rain barrels and cistern is just a larger rain barrel, can hold water, and you can use it to water a nearby garden or a lawn. A rain garden, like we saw in our earlier example. Trees, planting trees, beautiful, easy thing to do on your property. Pavement removal, permeable pavement, so replacing that impervious cover in your driveway or your parking lot with a permeable surface, and then a green roof. So all the information about the program is here at cbtrust.org and then Prince George's County Rain Check Rebate Program. Just a couple of quick examples. Like we saw, one of the 7 practices is a rain barrel, and this is what a rain barrel looks like. It's connected to your downspouts that comes off your gutter of your rooftop, and then the stormwater is directed into this rain barrel where it's held, and then you can use that water, as you see that gold spout on the bottom there, to water some plants that you might have growing in your lawn. And then each rebate has an allowable amount and different criteria and guidelines to follow and different requirements. So just an example of a rain barrel here to give you an idea of what we're talking about. The second example I want to provide was trees. On your property, you might have space for a tree. Native trees are great for the birds and bees and the pollinators, and they also provide shade and clean the water. So they can really beautify your property while meeting these multiple benefits for the landscape. Again, each practice has a rebate allowance and different requirements, and so that's highlighted here, and there are way more detailed criteria and guidance on our website. But if you're overwhelmed or have any questions, our staff are always available to answer questions. Come out to the site and talk to you about your specific property. So again, the steps are determine what practices are suitable for your property, fill out and submit the application. We do an installation site visit, and then you submit your required documentation. Pre-approval outlines everything that you need to know about your practice and what's required and what you need to do. Install the practice within 12 months, and then schedule a post-installation site visit. And of course, we offer site visits virtually and make it really easy for you at your convenience. Submit the required documentation and then receive the rebate check in the mail from the county. Again, all of this is done in partnership with our Prince George's County partners. So hopefully this has given you some good ideas about what to do on your property. Here are some resources and contact information. We've got fact sheets, pictures of past projects, guidelines, videos of folks who have installed these practices themselves, and again, tips for what you might do and lessons learned that they had, and then application instructions and online application, as well as frequently asked questions. So finally, here are the resources of who to contact. Myself, my colleague Win Lee, and Kathy Somoza, and we're always here to help with any questions that you might have. As I mentioned, we have the Prince George's County newsletter that you can sign up for to get information once a month. And all of the information is available on the cbt.org website. It's really a pleasure talking to you all, and I hope we can follow up. And it's just really 2 great resources and programs offered by Prince George's County Department of the Environment. And with that, thanks so much.